Good day. It is April the 23rd, and today we continue in John 19, doing verses 5 through 7, and Proverbs 23. Remember, if you'd like to be tagged when I post these videos, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, or anything else, you may reach me through 810-242-2997. That's 810-242-2997. You can call, text, leave a message, whichever you like. Begin John 19, starting at verse 5. Then Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. And Pilate said to them, Behold the man. 6. Therefore, when the chief priests and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him! Crucify him! Pilate said to them, You take him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. Verse 7. Then Jesus answered him. Then the Jews answered him, Excuse me. We have a law, and according to our law, he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God. Okay, Jesus just got scourged. Now Pilate's bringing him out. 5. Then Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe, and Pilate said to them, Behold the man. He said it trying to evoke pity. 6. Therefore, when the chief priests and the officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him! Crucify him! Pilate said to them, You take him and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. There's no compassion by the Jewish leaders. The loud cry. This is made after the offer to release him. And he said, I do not find anything. They're also doing this. Pilate said, I do not find anything wrong with him. And then the Jews were also doing this. The leaders were trying to get crucified before anyone had enough sympathy to say, yeah, let's just let him go. 7. The Jews answered him, We have a law, and according to our law, he ought to die, because he made himself the Son of God. That's in Leviticus 24:16. They're appealing to Pilate's fears himself. Basically, they're saying he refers to himself the Son of the Solomon of God, is what he's saying. The Song of Solomon of God. So the Jews, the leaders are all riled up, basically. Proverbs 23. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider well him that is before thee. In other words, when you're with your boss, consider what kind of person he is. And put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. If you like to overindulge, don't. That's food, drink, anything. 3. Be not envious of his dainties, seeing how they're deceitful food. Don't worry about what he has. The dainties are basically poisoned. So don't worry about that. 4. Weary not thyself to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. Yeah, don't make your life's goal to get rich. In the world, it says, leave nothing on the table. God says, leave the remnants. When you harvest a field, round the corners so that people who are in need can have it. When you pick fruit, don't take it all. 5. When thou settest thine eyes upon it, it is gone. This is wealth, by the way. For riches certainly make themselves wings, like an eagle that flieth toward heaven. Yeah. Mine says bye-bye. That's when my money talks. 6. Eat not the bread of him that has an evil eye, and neither desire his dainties. Yet if the person hates you, don't. 7. For as one has reckoned with himself, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. In other words, he'll give you all this stuff for free, and then later on go, by the way. 8. The morsel which thou hast eaten thou shalt vomit up, and lose thy sweet words. 9. Speak not into the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of words. Yeah, don't try and correct fools. They'll hate you for it. 10. Remove not the ancient landmark, and enter not in the fields of the fatherless. Removing the landmark is stealing land. It's like it's moving the fence line. And don't enter the fields of the fatherless, because they can't defend them. 11. For their Redeemer is strong, and he will plead their cause with thee. 12. Apply thy heart unto instruction, and thine eyes to the words of knowledge. In other words, take and consider advice, and listen, and learn carefully. 13. Withhold not correction from a child, for though thou beat him with the rod, he will not die. Thou beatest with the rod, and he will deliver thy soul from the netherworld. Sometimes teaching and discipline can be painful. 15. My son, if thy heart be wise, my heart will be glad with even mine. Yea, my reins will rejoice when thy lips speak the right things. When you succeed, God in a godly way, I shall be happy. 17. Let not thy heart envy sinners, but be in fear of Yahweh all the day. For there surely is a future, and thy hope shall not be cut off. Don't worry about what everyone else has. 19. Hear thou, my son, and be wise, and guide thy heart in the way. Be not among the wine-bibbers, among the gluttonous eaters of flesh. In other words, don't be a drunkard or a glutton. 21. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe the man with rags. Yet you be drunk and fall asleep, not go to work, and then you have rags. 22. Hearken unto thy father that begot thee, and despise not thy mother when she is old. 23. Buy the truth and sell it not, also wisdom and instruction and understanding. 24. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice, that he begetteth a wise child, and will have joy of him. 25. Let thy father and thy mother be glad, and let her that bore thee rejoice. Make your parents proud in a godly way. 26. My son, give me thy heart, and let thy eyes observe my ways. In other words, listen up and watch what I do. For a harlot's a deep ditch, and an alien woman a narrow pit. She lieth in wait with a robber, and increases the faithless among men. Yeah, she takes advantage. By the way, that could be a man or a woman. 29. Through the end. Who crieth woe? Who alas? Who has contentions? Who has ravings? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Yeah, who's going through all these things? 30. They that tarry long on wine, those that go try and mix through wine, they get drunk. 31. Look not upon the wine when it is red, when it giveth its color in the cup, when it glideth down smoothly. At the last it biteth like a serpent, and stingeth like a basilisk. In other words, you're going to have one heck of a hangover. 33. Thy eyes shall behold strange things, and thy heart shall utter confused things. You'll see pink elephants, and you'll rant and rave. 34. Yea, thou shalt be as he that lieth down in the midst of the sea, or as he that lieth upon the top of the mast. Yeah. Bedspins. And 35. They have struck me, and I felt it not. They have beaten me, and I knew it not. In other words, you don't know what's going on. When shall I awake? I will seek it yet again. Yet, when you awake, and the pain starts to subside, you'll just start it all over again. I hope you've been blessed by this reading. May the Lord richly bless you. Remember, if you'd like to be tagged when I post these videos, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, or anything else, you may reach me through 810-242-2997. That's 810-242-2997. You can call, text, leave a message, whichever you like. Remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I.